open source free sound editing software. So I put some ends on this wire. I know it's ugly. Hello there, welcome to another episode of Montclair's Lair. Today we're going to be working on Mike North's $20 prop controller. Last time we saw this, it was, well, in this state. Haven't actually wired anything to it. So what's the point of having a controller if you're not going to let it control things? And that's what we're going to do today. And I plan on connecting this to a shiatsu motor to upgrade my electrocution prop. We'll pretend that my arm is his waist and my fist is his head and he goes up and down. Not fist pumping, just illustrating. I want to add this movement here. I want him to go like this. And I discussed some of this on the forums, the Haunt forums. Got some help from Dave. I'll link his channel below. He gave me some wiring help on this. And I think we've got it set up so that we're going to have one of these relays turn the movement on and off completely to another relay which is going to control this direction or that direction. So during the ambient portion I'll be able to have the controller just static, well, probably stuck in whatever position it last rotated to. Then I'll be able to turn it on and then pick a direction, either this way or back. And by toggling back and forth between those, I'll be able to get some pretty neat movement. And I think it's going to look a lot better than it does now. I'm also toying with the idea of adding an actuator to that, an electric actuator to go up and down, because I really want my drill back, and I don't think that drill really is the best idea. Drills are not meant for continuous use, and that's just was something I threw together to have some kind of effect last year. But with an electric actuator, like in these props, you can see how it goes up and down, and there's a couple of different options here. I can program one to go up and down when I want, or I can have a continuously going up and down version. So I'd like to add that into the prop and try to fit that in there somehow with the shiatsu motor. Exactly how, I don't know. I don't even have an actuator, so that would be later if we even ever get to it. But enough talking, let's get started. So after talking with this fellow named Dave on the Haunt forums, we went back and forth a little bit and I came up with this drawing. What we're looking at here is a picture of the shiatsu motor. This is a rocker switch right here on the motor. You flip it this way to go forwards and this way to go backwards. We came up with wiring the relays this way so that power comes in here, goes into this middle contact on the relay, which is, I believe, the common contact. And then that's switched over here when the relay is activated. So power goes back out here, goes into the common contact on the second relay. And you have normally open and normally closed on this, which means there's a little switch in here that's either connecting this to this or this to this. It's one or the other. When the switch is flipped this way, it'll go forward. When the switch is flipped this way, it'll go backwards. That is what we think is going to work, and I don't see why it shouldn't. So let's go ahead and get one of these shiatsu motors apart, and hopefully it looks a lot like this one. Well, I have a couple options here. I've only got two motors left, this one and this one. I think this one's a little wider. I might go with that one because the prop is, this will be underneath his ass. And this one may lend itself better to a zombie or something because it's smaller. So I think we'll go with this guy. First thing you have to do with these is get this off. What kind of caps do we have? We have the easy ones or the hard ones? Ooh, the easy ones, good. There we go. And they're basically just motors with bent shafts on them. So you get this, you connect some PVC to this and you get this nice movement like that. So let's get the case off this thing. Alright, so we have a very similar thing here going on, much like the diagram. There we drew up. It's almost the same thing. Here's the switch. There's the switch. You've got the pretty much the same thing. White wire, red wire, and this looks to be the hot here. Let's wire up the relay on this controller. Connect that to here and see if we can control this going back and forth. I probably need to program the controller first before I do that. So let's get that out of the way. So I'm working here now in Audacity, the open source free sound editing software. I'm working on my ambient soundtrack and my event soundtrack. These two tracks right here are my ambient soundtrack. All of these up here are going to be my event soundtrack. Let's have a listen to the ambient one first. I think that'll give a nice effect for ambience. And let's have a listen to the event soundtrack that I've come up with so far. I'll turn this down a little bit so it's not so loud for you guys. Okay, so I've been fooling with the software a little bit more, working on my ambient track. I thought it might be kind of neat to have the guy, begging to be let go before he's electrocuted. So this is what I've got so far, but I'm going to add some sound effects and things to it. Let me out of here! I didn't touch anything! I'm not going to break any more rules! So yeah, that kind of stuff. Obviously that's me with some horrible voice acting, so I think I'm going to add some reverb to this and have it sound like a medium room. Let me out of here. That's pretty good. Let's go with that one. Alright, let's change the pitch of my voice because I can't stand the pitch of my voice. I don't think anybody else can either.
Let me out of here.
Go with that.
Let me out of here. I didn't touch anything. I'm not gonna break any more rules. Come on, let me go. Let me out of this chair. I didn't do anything. Let me go.
This ambient soundtrack is going to repeat. I've only got it 30 seconds long. I think what I want to do is to not have people who just watch the event hear the guy talking again. I think that would be kind of silly. So we'll throw in another 30 seconds of just this soundtrack here, which is just the buzzing. Make this 60 seconds long. And so and we'll put this down at the end. Slide this track down to the very end because we want it at the end of the ambient event, or the ambient soundtrack. So it's going to leave us with these big empty spot in the beginning, but we'll have that line up at the end there. Alright. So we'll at least have 30 seconds of nothing after the event. Let's remix this. I'm just going to mix these to one track instead of having to deal with this. Let's see, tracks. Mix and render to new track. Okay. Now I've got my event track is one thing up here. This is my ambient. And how it would actually play out would be like this. You'll have this 30-second gap here at the end of the event until the guy starts talking again. So that'll work out. Alright, let me export this one again. Do the ambient. And we should be good to go here. Jesus, look how small these files are. 939K and 295K. You can hear there's just 30 seconds of just the buzzing sound. And then we'll have the guy start talking somewhere in here. Probably around the halfway mark.
Let me out of here.
Yeah, there it is. Perfect. Alright, I'm going to load these into the prop controller. Alright, so I'm going to set my ambient file. And then I'm going to set my event sound. Got my two things loaded here. Okay. So what we're going to do now is, well, I guess first thing we can do here is rename these things. This one's going to be called on/off. Change that to a green. And this will be forward. Sure, whatever. This one will be reverse. Siren, I guess we could go with. And we'll want the siren to only be on when we tell it to, not all the time, not reversing here. Why is this one stuck on? I can't even edit this track. Why is that? That's very bizarre. Oh, you can lock the track with double clicking these. Okay, now I got it. Okay. We've got a clean slate here, finally. So I know during this part, I want the siren to be on as soon as I see this. Okay, that's a lot easier. Alright. And then we'll just turn it off here. Right around there, the siren will come on. It'll stay on for the whole thing until the very end. But I'm going to have it end right at the end of the switch, which I know is right there. Okay. Well, that one's done. Let's go back and do when he's getting electrocuted, which is right around here. Select here to end, that's it. And then I will say, whoops, range on off. Okay, why didn't that work? I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Do I have to do this? That's the trick. I think I'm just going to do the entire thing, both of these. Range on forward, range on reverse. Now we've got the siren starting here, then the first relay will turn these on, but I've got these both going off at the same time, which we obviously don't want. So we'll have them go forward for a little bit. Go forward, and then reverse. I think we need to have right in here a little off. Maybe not that much. We need that relay to shut off one time. We can switch over. So it's forward, reverse, and we can have them spin around for a little bit. Then the same thing, we'll go back, turn all of this off. Clunky there. I think that'll be pretty good. So I've got my little memory card. Gonna put it into my USB adapter that I have. Plug that into the computer, and we'll have the software load the sounds onto it for me. There we go. And now those are done on there. I'm going to put the card back into the MP3 player now. Alright, so that's in there. Let's go ahead and put this sequence onto the board. Let me save my controller here. Actually, I want to check the delay here, because I want that ambient to go at least 30 seconds. Save that again and send it up to the Arduino again. That's the siren, and you can see the forward and reverse switching along with the on and off. that is it. This board is programmed. So let's go hook it up to the Shiatsu motor and see what happens. So I was just about to hook all of this up to the Shiatsu motor when I realized that I did the programming wrong. The relays, there's only 2 of them that are going to be used. On and off is the first relay, and forward and reverse is the second relay. There's no third relay involved in all this, because the switch is either going to be switched forward or reverse. That saves us an extra relay, which is perfect, because now we can wire up the strobe light as well. So we'll have the on and off controlling forward and reverse, and then strobe and the beacon light that I have. So let me fix that in the programming. Alright, so I've got my sequence loaded again, and the problem with it is that there is no such thing as reverse. So we're going to change this over to strobe light. Might as well change the color, what the hell. Sure. Make it white, there we go. Alright. So this one is forward/reverse. And there's a bar, a colored bar here, that'll be one direction, and the lack of one will be another direction. So for the strobe light, I do want it to be on for the entire thing here. Well, at least for the shock sequence. So essentially, that's a pretty quick fix. This will be forward, this is reverse, forward, reverse, forward, reverse. So I'm pretty much okay there. Nothing else I really have to do. So that was easy enough. We send that back up to the Arduino. Okay. And let's have another look at that. Oh, sequence complete, okay. So here we go again. Got the strobe light and the siren on. You can see this toggling between this here. So this is forward, reverse, forward, and then off. So let's go hook this up to the Shiatsu motor and see what we have. Alright, so using my printout here, my little diagram, let's see if we can't wire this up. This is forward or reverse, these 2 wires, and that's the common. So we'll go with this one. And I may actually even have connectors for this. Let me go see. 2, 3. I honestly don't know how much I'm going to need or how far away this is going to be from that. Just for now, we'll go on the safe side and go with some extra long amounts of wire here. By extra long, I mean, I don't know, a couple of feet. I don't know, something like that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to braid this wire together. I hate these wire strippers. So the 2 middles are the same. Okay. Matter of fact, we'll just wire that one up as blue like in the picture. So I put some ends on this wire. I know it's ugly, but I don't have a proper crimping tool that get these things on there, so I kind of had to hack it up with my pliers and just to make sure stuff stays on there. Throw on this additional electrical tape because these little covers were kind of slipping off here. Alright, we'll say that blue here is going to be the black. Alright, so that's it for the motor. Now we're going to take this other end and wire it up under the relays. I need to also make a little jumper wire, so I'm going to do that. A little jumper. Jumper, and then we're going to also wire into that first one, or common, I guess it's called. So we want the power to come in and get switched over to this, and then from there we just pick one. It doesn't really matter. One's forward, one's reverse. Alright, so theoretically, we should be all set here. Only one way to find out. Maybe more than one way to find out. Checking for resistance. And watch the needle move. I've got one end of the meter connected to one of the prongs. Electricity comes in through here, that's why there's no resistance. Goes through this, through the switch here, which isn't activated. We're not getting it anywhere else. I think we're okay. Let's go for it. No speakers at the moment, but let's see what happens. So we need two powers. We need one for the Arduino, and then we need to run the electricity through the relay to power this, and this is all coming off of this switch that we replaced, this three-way rocker switch. Let's find out what happens. Perfect. Success. There you go. But we've got at least the motor wired up. So I think you'll see how that'll give a nice effect. Perfect. So I guess one other thing to do is just check to make sure the sound's working. There's our ambient. See if we can't ever hear myself.
Let me out of here. I didn't touch anything. Let me out of this chair.
So technically, to actually activate the rest of this sequence, I need to wire up these other two relays right here. And those will have to go to this for my beacon. Another one for the strobe light. I'd probably wire that up so that they just look like regular plugs. Wire some AC into these two relays. Share the AC, and then those would run out to regular plugs. So here's what I'll do. So that's the general gist of it. We'll just build a PVC spine coming up out of this to rotate on this, and maybe I can hook this up to a leg, much so like I did the bride over there, because she is a shiatsu motor as well. I know Rich was asking about that. These are my two shiatsu motor guys. I'm not going to hook them up and turn them on, Rich. You can check out the other videos. But Brenda did come across this veil at a tag sale the other day. I still have to dirty it up, but perfect. So she has this same kind of movement that we'll be doing here. Alright, so we made some pretty good progress today on the prop controller, at least I think so. We've got the relays hooked up to the shiatsu motor. We've got the motor working the way that we want. I'm pretty satisfied with that back and forth direction. That's kind of what I was after. I can probably tweak that a little bit with the program and change it a little bit if I want them to go in a circle or a couple of times. Just a matter of timing and fooling with the software a little bit more and get it fine-tuned. but definitely made some progress. So I think this is going to work out well. In the next vlog, we'll probably wire up the other couple of relays, one for the beacon and one for the strobe light, and maybe move on to actually putting this stuff into the electrocution guy so that we'll have a finished prop. But I'm sure that's a long ways down the road. You thought the pumpkins were bad. I'm just kidding. All right, thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to comment and subscribe as well. And thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Do a little work on him. And why did you do that thing? And wiring them wired up in their containers, their enclosures, wired up and put into their control boxes. What's the word? God, I hate getting old.